I'm Smathlim Kize and this is my channel. If you are a regular Dzegulars, a regular liker, a regular sharer, honey, thank you so much for coming back once again. And if you're new here today, welcome to the channel. Make sure that you click that subscribe button so you can join the regular Dzegulars. You will love it here, okay? This family is growing, it's expanding, my dears. We are moving all over the world, or rather we are growing all over the world. So I'm so excited to say that we are on the road to 12K. Oh my gosh. And right now we are 8 days away from my 30th birthday. So many amazing things to be grateful for, so many things to be happy about. And yeah, guys, so today I just decided to do a story time, but link it in with the giveaway because I thought it's so on brand with the story time, this giveaway. So basically, why I want to do the story time is a lot of you guys are new in this family. You guys might not know that my journey to China wasn't as easy as many might think. So I decided I'm gonna retell the story, or rather tell it again, because the first time I did the story time was a year ago and it did really well on my channel, and I thought, why not do it again? So I decided to sit down and record the story time, but also announce what I'm gonna be giving away to celebrate 10,000 subscribers. I know I'm so late, like we're already on the road to 12K. Also, maybe I'm not like God is just saying, la la la. We on the move. We're going to reach bigger numbers. So I thought, let me do this giveaway immediately during this Vlogmas, like I said before Vlogmas started. So I'm gonna announce everything about the giveaway at the end, so make sure that you stay tuned. But let's go straight into the story time. Okay, I need a drink because this story time, okay, let me go pour a drink. I'll be back. Okay, I'm back. I've got a little bit of red wine. Oh, and one more thing, I'm going to link this two-piece. A lot of you guys have been hounding for the two-piece that I tried out on camera, which was beige. So I got the black one because I wanted to make sure the fit was mwah, and the fit is mwah. So this is the black one, and I'm gonna put it all in the link for you guys, especially the ladies in China. Okay, let's start the story time. Okay, the crazy thing is I didn't even think about what I'm gonna say and how I'm gonna put it. I just decided I'm gonna tell the story again, and I didn't actually watch my old one, so I probably should have done that. But anyway, let's just do it. God will give me the words. Okay, so so allow me to reintroduce myself to the new regular Dzegulars. I'm Smathlim Kize. I'm from South Africa, born and raised in Pietermaritzburg, and went on to study in Durban. And this is what, in 2015 was the first time I started working. I started working for a non-profit in Durban, and no, not 2015, 2011, 12, 13, graduated 14. Yes, it was 2015. 2015, I'm there, I'm doing my non-profit marketing and fundraising job, and I'm earning a living, but not enough to do the things that I wanted to do at the time, which was travel. I wanted to buy nice things for myself. I wanted to do so much for my mom and my sister, and I just felt like it was like every single month I was running out of money, and I just couldn't get the things that I wanted. And more especially, I really felt like South Africa didn't have the opportunities for me to kind of expand my career. At that time too, I was studying sports science, and I wanted to carry on working in the sports for good section or area, but it just felt like there weren't positions and there weren't things out there for me in South Africa. So that's when I decided to start looking abroad for jobs. Now, let me tell you guys, and I told you this before, when you search for a job online, you just like jobs online. You never like crunch it down, and you never know what you're looking for too. And another thing is, I didn't know what I was looking for. I just knew that it just had to be something more for me out there. It just had to be something different from what I was doing. And I remember the first thing I searched was coaching jobs abroad. How many coaching jobs are there? And I think that's another lesson that maybe we can take away from this, is that when you're looking for jobs abroad, you really need to refine and filter out country, location, salary, job title, what type of job, specific job titles, like all of that stuff I didn't know at the time. I just searched coaching jobs in the world, and that's not going to be very refined. It was very I just threw a net out there and I caught so many things, and it was so overwhelming when I had all these things pop up in my search engine. And then I remember obviously because I loved sports, I just looked for basketball stuff, and a lot of American summer camps came up, au pairing. So I applied to all those things, and I applied to those things. I got interviews, but it just felt like, this is not my calling. And the crazy thing is, I had been coaching, but I just felt, I'm not drawn to this. And I remember the money was so small. I thought, like, what's gonna happen? Like, no ways, you know? So then I remember, as I was searching, I saw teaching in China. And I remember too, at the time, my best friend at the time, her sister was abroad and she was teaching. And I remember, like, Sliz, one of my postdoc, living her best life. And I was like, what about teaching, you know? But I knew that she was a qualified teacher. I had a bachelor's in sports science, my dear. There was no way. I'd never been in a classroom, never thought of myself as an educator, enriching the youth of South Africa. Like, there was no way in terms of knowledge. Like, that is a huge task. So I remember I was like, this is crazy, Sla. Like, who do you think you are? Anyway, so I was like, as in, got the mind. You have to try everything, because if hey, what about what you don't deserve it? Like, what about abanye abantu that actually have teaching degrees? And one thing I knew for sure was that I'm passionate about working with kids. I've got a gift in terms of I can coach kids, because coaching and teaching is a similar craft, I think, and it takes a lot of patience and really guiding kids when they're learning a new skill. So I knew that either way, ginayo ability yokusebenza nabantwana, but I just didn't know the academic part. You know, I wasn't a strong student. Like, I was an above average student, and I've never thought about teaching. You know what I mean? So anyway, I applied. And in the first story time, I remember I was too scared to say the school's name. Like, I'm done. The school that I applied for, and the only school that I applied for, was English first. And I applied for them, and when I say overnight, they were like, interview now. We want to meet you. I was like, okay, because I did have to write like a application where they're like, why do you want to teach? What are your goals? What do you want to, or rather, why are you passionate about teaching English as a second language? And mind you, at the time, I wasn't aware that China and many other non-native English-speaking countries were looking for native English speakers to teach ESL. Like, that for me was such a foreign concept. And so when I was going into the interview, I was very much like, and you know, that was another thing that I should have actually done more research about other schools. But I did a lot of research on EF, and I was like, I am going there. Like, I remember when I go on their website, I saw their schools, like beautiful facilities, teachers in nice, neat uniform, kanti. When it's all just an act to make everything look kuhle, kanti. In the rules, never judge a book by its cover. And that was another lesson that I learned so much whilst here in Asia. Anyway, so we apply here, we have the interview, and remember, guys, and I told you guys this in the first story time, I had 0 savings. So I knew that this job was gonna pay for my flights, was gonna pay for my relocation. I needed a job that was gonna pay for everything, paperwork, because at that moment in time, I had no savings, and my parents didn't have the funds to help me relocate across the world. So yonke into ngangisho ku-interview, ngangisho ngithi kulungile noma yini niyifunayo kodwa uzongikhokhela i-flight, uzongikhokhela i-paperwork, uzongikhokhela i-TEFL, yonke lento le. Because they started asking me, do you have a TEFL? And I said no. Do you have a passport? I said no. Do you have this? No. And they're like, no problem, we will pay for all of that. And so I thought, oh my goodness, they really want me. They really want to, bring me over. They're willing to pay for everything. Ganti. Anyway, so do the interview, they love me, and we start the process. So immediately, the first thing they say to me is you need to get a TEFL and you need to get a passport. And obviously the police clearance. So you guys know all those things that are needed to apply for a work permit here in China. So Nangambela, I do that. And when they give me, the instructions, they list them. First thing, they say TEFL. So TEFL, they're like, we will provide everything. Here is the link, okay? I do the TEFL, pass the TEFL, no problem. PCC, done. Done. Notarization. Here's the lawyers. Go to the lawyers. Keep receipts. We'll pay you every sharp. No problems. Okay? Flights. Flights. Here's the flights. Here are the details. Everyone in my family is like, hey, but we are hamba gempel. And I'm like, Gia hamba. Guys, and obviously around the time I've told you guys that story is that like I applied, like I'll give you a time frame. I applied in, let's say we're talking about 2022 and 2023, 2022, 2022, 2023. I applied in August 2022. Interview in November 2022. December, they send me the offer. January, I do my TEFL, I do my PCC. February, mom passes away. March, they're telling me flights. April, you're flying out. Like, boom, 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 boom. Anyway, so, like I said, I signed the offer letter, and the offer letter offers me 17,000 RMB before tax. And not 17,000 namanga, 15,000 RMB before tax. And 3,000 housing, okay? So that's also before tax. So in total, I was gonna get like less than, after tax, when you put those together at the time, in Beijing, mind you, like, I'm gonna put 12,000. And in my mind, I was like, okay, whatever. Like, I didn't know how cost of living and whatever. So it was just like a ridiculous amount that at the time, I had no idea what I was signing and what I was setting myself up for. So anyway, I go on the thing, jump into the plane, and I go. Everyone at home is like, stay home, like, your mom just passed away, you need to grieve. And guys, when I tell you that God was like, Mtanam, it's just gonna hold you back even more. Hamba, uzogriva pambili, I've got you. And there's never been a time in my life that I can remember that I've felt God's like presence. And I say that loosely too, because there have been many other times since then where God has been present in my life, and showing his presence in my life, and kind of the Holy Spirit showing me what to do and guiding me and protecting me. But guys, when you are grieving, it's like, and when you grieve a parent, I can't even, like, I've never felt that feeling before. It's something that I've never felt before. But when I tell you, God healed me, and God like restored me, and God comforted me. Like, but I knew that he was here with me, holding me tight, and it was just like something that I can't even describe to you guys. So that feeling of, I have more for you than don't be discouraged by the circumstances surrounding you. Just go, and trust me. And so I also, when I look back too, it's like God was pushing me to go and experience and learn. And also, there were moments too where I didn't listen to his voice. There were times where I should have paused to do research about other schools. I should have not made a decision out of desperation. But that doesn't mean that God is still not going to pull you through that situation and show you, I still want this for you. But maybe next time in Lalele, and listen to the steps that I've showed you, you know what I mean? And use wisdom and discern. But when you're making decisions out of desperation, it's like it's gonna end in turmoil, and God will humble you. But also, it's key that he shows you that this way without me never works. Do it with me, and that's why it's gonna work. You know what I mean? So anyway, that was something that I learned later on. So anyway, I get to China. Miss Figa, oh my goodness, everything is so organized. They pick us up at the airport. They get us some Chinese lessons, SIM cards, bank accounts. Guys, one thing I will say about English First is, honestly, they invest so much into getting you started, and they help you, really they do, to really get accustomed to life here in Asia. Like, why don't they pay their people imali abeve beibamba? And for me, it's the weirdest thing too, because they like the work hours, the amount of work that EF teachers put in, guys. I can't even describe it to you guys. And so it never like made sense in my head. But I guess obviously it's a business, and they're trying to cut corners where they can. And when you are arriving in China and you see how well and how organized the school is, you feel like you're in safe hands, and you feel like you owe them and you can't leave them. So keep that thought, okay? Get here, do orientation, your girl stands out, teaching, raising my hand, excelling, making sure that I cement my presence. You know what I mean? And I remember I was like, I identified as a teacher to look out for, like, I was like killing it. I like in the first month, okay? So I get a roommate, one of my people is figuring out, but she was from America. and we move in together, kumnandi, and they told us that they'd give us a relocation bonus. That relocation bonus was 10,000 RMB. That 10,000 RMB you would have to pay back in installments over the next 3 months. Okay, sharp. I agreed to that, not knowing any better. Move in, and I am dirt broke, guys. Man, getting my last penny. I jumped on a plane from South Africa to China with 2,000 rands. Okay, 2,000 rands and my faith. That's all I had. And stupid, but God pulled me through. Anyway, got here, we moved into an apartment, and the first month was hard. So hard. I remember I used to borrow money from my best friend at the time, her sister Jay. She really helped me. Shout out to Latoya. Anyway, and then I hang out with Latoya again, man. I'm gonna Latoya come like. So I hang out with her and her colleagues, and she works for a school called First Leap, where I later moved on to. First Leap, nabantu bakhona. Hey guys, South Africans, we're living our best lives, going to Prize, and we're gonna talk izinto sokhuluma. Isikole sakho sinjani? Kwenzakalani ke sakho? Mali. I'm not gonna say too much, but you know what I mean. I ngizwe ukuthi kuhola malini First Leap. Okay, I have to speak English, sorry. And then I hear how much people are earning, the ranges at First Leap, and I'm like, what the? I hear their work hours. I'm like, huh? I hear the situation when they arrived. I mean, guys, when I say my back froze, same time. It was August, so hot, but I told them, and something I didn't tell you guys in the first video, that they basically paid for my TEFL, they paid for my authentication, they paid for all my paperwork. And so they kept all my paperwork upon arrival. Told them that they have all my paperwork. They're like, yeah, they're not allowed to take your paperwork. Like, they can't keep your paperwork. That's wrong. Okay? Well, you need to go get your stuff back. First thing on Monday, PCC, authenticated documents. No. Why? 200, no. Those are ours. And mind you, those papers are so important if I want to switch jobs, because the new school needs to see those. So they kept them for that reason. Fine. So I'm like, okay, this is bad. So I remember that was like a month into the job. So a month in, I was like, I'm out of here. And it wasn't even about the money, guys, when I think about it. It just felt so planned out that they want you to feel like, oh my goodness, this is the best decision that I made. No other school's gonna want me. This is the best school. Kandi, one, they know that you don't know any better, and you're gonna be worried to move jobs, and they're trying to keep the paperwork, keep the things that you need, so that you don't have that liberty to move and ask other people and have your paperwork to put into other places. So I honestly, till this day, don't know where I found that like, it's me. Like, I don't know how, like, I don't know, what's the word, the courage. I don't know how, and I honestly think this was my mom and God, really, and my guardian angels giving me that courage. Because you understand, guys, you just relocated to a new country. A month into the job, you decide you want to quit. Uzoyap. If visa at the moment, mind you, I'm on probation. My visa still hasn't come back. So I don't have a visa. I have a 30-day visa. In those 30 days, we're still setting you out. If you do something wrong, you can still fly out. But I decided to quit my job. Okay? And I remember I spoke to my boyfriend at the time, and I was like, listen, I'm gonna do this, and I need to go back. I don't need to go back, but I need to quit my job. And he's like, do it. Whatever you need to do, do it. And I thank God for people like him in my life at the time who really were so supportive, because I didn't have others I had family members who weren't supportive either, but the few that I had in my life were like, don't settle. And I really had this overwhelming feeling of, God has called you for more. Like, this is not it. Like, you're not gonna move across the world and suffer. You've suffered enough. Like, you need to be living your best life. And I had this like strong conviction about it. I've been called for more. I have a gift And when they told me things like, you the teacher to watch out for, and I remember during the trainings, guys, I was killing it, and I was like, where's this coming from? And I always laugh about it now that I stumbled on my gift of teaching. Like, it felt so natural. It just was like, it's a kazini land. Like, and you know when you're passionate about something and the things around you are not fanning your flames and giving you that room to really live out your passion. You can't stick around for that because you're not really using everything that God has given inside of you. Kuna loko, you're holding things back, or you feel upset, you're not feeling like you've been compensated for what you're worth. It was just a number of things that I felt like I'm not fully being me as a teacher here. So I decided I'm leaving. Anyway, I applied to First Leap. First Leap loves me. And then they're like, okay, paperwork. And I'm like, okay, I don't have my TEFL, I don't have this, I don't have this. They have all of it. And they're like, no, man, they shouldn't do that. You can tell them, excuse me, what, you don't want to be anymore. They should give you a cancellation letter, release letter. It should all be cordial, you know? And they like, and I went back to EF and I'm like, EF, I've got a loss at home. I need to go home. Please, can I have my paperwork? I'll be back. They were like, no. Go home. We'll pay for your flight. And we'll pay for your flight coming back. But we're not giving you your papers. TEFL. TEFL is a teaching English as a foreign language certificate. That is what I need to get a work permit in this country to teach ESL. Without that, I can't work here. PCC, Igbon. Authenticated documents, Igbon. Like the only thing I had is my bachelor's degree and my passport. I go back to First Leap. First Leap is like, no ma'am, you have to start again. Go back to South Africa. Go back to square one. Guys, I could not believe it. I died inside. I was so like, how am I gonna face my family? How am I gonna face my dad? Like, was so ashamed, embarrassed, all the words you're thinking. I was feeling it. But I got on a flight and I said, I will be back. I remember my roommates that I told you guys from EF, I told her, rent this place out for a month. I will be back in January. Okay, this is November, end of November. I'm telling you, rent this. I'm gonna go find someone to rent out. I found this Russian girl. She rented it out for a month. I'm coming back. Don't get set. Don't unpack your bags. Gabuya. Okay. I went back to SA. I knew that I didn't have an income. I had to start again. I had a few savings to get the paperwork started. And at that point, I knew that I had to speed in the process up. So obviously, with talking to people here in China, I found agents who were working, you know, with extra costs to do paperwork for me. So I had that going on. So I had to start a TEFL again. Thank goodness I realized quickly that I had to get the TEFL started. So I actually did the TEFL in November, from November when I was still here. So when EF told me that they're not going to give me my TEFL back, I immediately went to I2I and was able to pay with RMB, so it was a little cheaper. So I had already started the process of my TEFL. And I remember like a week before I flew out, I had already finished it. So when I was here, I was really just earning money to pay for the other paperwork like the PCC, authentications, going to a DERCO at the time, transportation, postnet, all those things. You know, those little things, needs 1,000, 500, 600, like. So I got a waitressing job. I remember I worked at the Botanical Gardens at the Christmas light show. I worked there as a manager. I earned like 10K at the end of that thing. And then I was also pushing other things on the side. And DJ, gapush, guys, gapush. And I knew there was only one way I was gonna go back, is if I don't go home. And so I stayed in Durban and I did things. Because another thing too about going home, you find that comfort, you see your family. You're safe here, just stay here. And like I knew that I can't be here. Otherwise, gizo forever, you know? And so I just knew. Did everything, sent it back, and I got on a flight back to China in the first week of February. And literally, guys, a few days later, they shut China down because of COVID. When I tell you, God has been amazing. And honestly, God led me to the territories that He wanted me to go to. Can you imagine if I came here and that first time, and I didn't hang out with those people from First Leap, and I hung out with only EF people, and I didn't, see what else was out there and talk to other people. What if I'd stayed in that little bubble? And so it's so important, guys, even when you are in any position that you're in, may it be jobs, business, whatever. continue talking to people, continue getting out of your comfort zone, get out of your box, because a lot of people that I came with in that group from EF stayed in EF for 2 years, and abanye babo still complain about it, and I was like, but and that was one because they hung out a lot with EF people. And so when you hang out and in groups all the time, I'm generally someone who doesn't go with the crowd. But because there's no way I can't go with the crew, I can't go with the crowd, because at the end of the day, so isn't the millions bonel and sorry guys, that one I can only sounds better in Zulu, I can't say it in English. So you need to, it's too difficult. It might not be difficult for you. And so I always think like, God, what would have happened if I didn't hang out with those people from First Leap and actually deviate from the group that I was with? What would have happened if I didn't ask them, guys, tell me about your job, you know? And so it's so important to realize those moments in your life. That was literally such a defining moment for me, because one, it taught me that I can start from scratch. I am not afraid, guys. Interwin is no longer serving me. It's no longer, giving me or allowing me to be the best version of myself. It's time for me to go, If it's a place where it doesn't value me or or pay me or compensate you for my value and the time that I put into it, it's time for me to go. If it's something that is rather taking and not putting into me, it's time for me to go. Do you know what I mean? Like those conditions. And so I always think like, Lord, if I hadn't gone through that, would I have learned all those life experiences? And I don't know if I would have, And so I learned an immense amount of courage and believing in myself and knowing my worth and knowing that I deserve so much better than this. And so that kind of led me to my second job here in China with First Leap, which many of you kind of joined the channel when I was working for First Leap, the red t-shirts, and they've now closed down their international department. A lot of you guys have been asking me that in the DMs, and guys, they have closed down their international department. There is no English taught by foreign teachers at First Leap, so please stop applying there. That's why your emails are getting bounced back and all of that. So anyway, so from First Leap, obviously now I'm here, and you guys know the story about how I left, how First Leap closed down, so that's how I ended up here. But let me tell you, now if I know that this job is not for me, I'm gonna leave. Because I know the steps now, and I know what I need to do. And I'm never going to be afraid of starting from scratch, and knowing my worth and knowing that God has called me for more, and never feeling like, but another thing that I feel like is so important is that do not make decisions out of desperation. Okay? That first time I came to China was a decision out of desperation. But at the same time, God still, and I still believe this to this day, the plan was to get me abroad. The plan was for me to move abroad, and I tried to do it in my knowledge and my own understanding and my own strength, and it didn't work. And he said, go back, let's start from scratch like this. And so many life experiences learned after that. A little bit more grieving that needed to happen. I spent a little bit more time at home. I also realized that, these are the people in my life that are fanning my flames, that are supporting me, and these aren't. All those things that I didn't see that first time I left. And God really humbled me. And I share that to say with you guys that it brings me now to why I'm giving away this TEFL. These TEFL certificates that I'm giving away are important to me, because that TEFL that I got through EF, I didn't own. And these ones you will own. These will be yours, and no one can take them from you. No one can take that certificate and hold it for you. You need to keep that certificate, and that certificate will open up so many opportunities for you to be able to teach online, teach people English online as a second language. You can also use that TEFL to actually apply for jobs in non-native English speaking countries like Thailand, China, Korea. So if you have a bachelor's degree, you can actually relocate with that TEFL degree and your bachelor's degree. If you don't, and you just want to start off online while doing your bachelor's degree, do that. But I just pray that, and I pray that this TEFL that I'm giving away to 5 people will help them in some way. And I really wanted to do it like this. I didn't want to get this video sponsored. I wanted to pay out of pocket, because I really just want to say thank you guys. I don't know why I'm getting emotional. Ooh, don't cry. Thank you so much for seeing me and embracing my personality and bringing me to 10K subscribers. And I cannot tell you how worried I was when I started this channel. Like, would they accept me for my bubbly, loud personality? And you guys really just opened your arms up, and you guys just want to learn, you want to grow, you want better for yourselves. I read the comments, I see how many of you guys really want to get out of South Africa and see what's out there and see what's in the world. And I'm so grateful to be able to do this for someone, and I pray that we can do more of this. All the other YouTubers as well, whatever that you can give away, to give back, to build someone's international career, because that TEFL can open up so many doors for you, and also open up your mind to different styles of teaching. And so it's so important that this is the first step for you. There's so many more steps to do, but I just ask that God opens up more doors. So yeah, this is the point where I wanted to talk about what we're giving away. Okay guys, so the TEFL certificates that we're giving away are 5. There are 5 120-hour TEFL certificates that I'm giving away to 5 subscribers. So the first thing I want to talk about though is where you guys are going to be getting them done. So the company that I chose is TEFL. It's called TEFL, and it's owned by a guy called Victor, and he is someone that I've seen a lot of you guys talk about, and I've seen Tabi also mentioned his TEFL, and he's a black South African, and I wanted to support a business that is pushing a black man, black business, and I thought, why not him? I talked about Eye to Eye previously, but I thought in my heart, I really want to support a business, and I realized and I learned about his business, and so I decided, why not TEFL? So TEFL's structure of their course is that you have teaching methods, teaching tools, phonics and pronunciation, methodology, how to teach, classroom management, lesson planning, and the study of English basics. There isn't any assessments, or rather no exam, but there are quizzes obviously as you're moving along the units to progress to the next one. There are lesson plans that you have to do, a lot of written summative assessments as well as formative assessments. So this is very much ilingo yokuba ESL teacher. So I'm really happy that this course is available, and I'm gonna link everything for TEFL in the description box, just so that you see what other services they have available. But most importantly, I want you guys to know that they also do other stuff like vetting, background checks, credit checks, pending court orders, credit scores, among others. They check if the school exists for you and things like that. So that is amazing. So a lot of you guys have been asking in the DMs, but I'm getting an offer from this school, but I don't know if they are legit. They help with that. So check out TEFL and all the other services that they provide. So the winners of this giveaway have to do the following. So I'm going to select 5 people through a random thingy that I'll find on the web, but here are the requirements. 1, you have to be subscribed to my channel, and following me on Instagram at let_spa_blossom. You have to comment in the comment section. What can you comment? I didn't think about this, but let's say hashtag TEFL, because that is who we are talking about, and also hashtag road to 12k. So that's what we'll do. Hashtag TEFL, hashtag road to 12k, and yeah, that's all you have to do. Comment with that hashtag, follow me on Instagram and YouTube, and you can stand a chance to win a 120-hour TEFL certificate. So yeah guys, I said so much. I hope you guys enjoyed the story time. Whew, I haven't even had a sip. What a stororo, what a full circle we've come. It's been a year. Like, where did time go? But yeah, thank you so much for watching episode 5 of Vlogmas. I will see you guys for episode 6 of Vlogmas. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you soon. Mwah.